right. It being 6 o'clock and a quorum present, I'm going to call the meeting to order on June 15th of the Conservation Commission. The first order of business is acceptance of meeting minutes. Were there any edits, revisions that anyone saw?
I'm double checking right now.
Okay.
I'll make a motion, we approve the minutes of June 1st, 2012, virtual,
2021.
2021.
There's a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 That was nice. No roll
Oh,
call.
that was nice.
No, we don't have to do the roll call.
I can see that you said yes. You said yes. Okay. So it looks like there is 5 application submissions. The first 3 being RDAs for 3 lots on Kenwood Drive.
Yes, that's correct. I did invite Norm from Land Planning Inc. tonight. He's
Okay.
not on the meeting yet, but they submitted the 3 RDAs for that particular property.
Okay.
What are they doing over there? Is that they logging it?
I think they're just the single-family house lots.
Yeah,
DCR is the applicant?
No, that's
Fernando Johnke.
Yes, sorry, I'm trying to get it pulled up. I'm not used to being like in control of
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, so just 3 congruent.
So, pull up the septic design for lot 5A first. Is that okay with you guys?
Yeah.
And then we go to 5B. And these were last week approved as an A&R plan with the planning board. And we did provide a copy of the A&R plan if you guys want to see that too.
Awesome. So it looks like,
Are they coming in for this?
yeah, they'll be in the next meeting.
This
Okay.
is just the submission.
Yeah.
I'll publish the hearing for the next time. I did invite them this time, but nobody's here yet.
Yeah, it even looks like they might be pretty much outside the 100.
I thought that's what I read,
Yes,
right?
his
Yeah.
email indicated they didn't have anything in the
Cool.
100-foot buffer.
Okay.
So just due diligence, which is nice.
Yeah.
Were these originally Tackler's lots?
I don't know if these are them. I know the other Kenwood ones I think are, or they were.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them that got,
Yeah. I don't know about these ones. I didn't see there's a locus in the top left. It doesn't,
Let me see if I can zoom in.
yeah, it looks kind of close.
yeah, it doesn't quite look like that's
No.
where Taclos are, or where.
No,
Do you guys want me to pull up the other? Or you guys feel
No,
good with
that's-
that?
I think we're okay.
That's okay.
So we'll just schedule the hearing for the next meeting,
Mm-hmm.
July 6th?
Alright. And then, so after the RDAs, there's a notice of intent for 109 Kenwood Drive.
did you say 109?
109, yep.
These are Julian's submissions.
This isn't
I did invite him
Vinus.
as well.
Helen Minus land, is it? Because we
yeah, I
had,
think it is.
Yeah,
we declared a while ago a lot of that unbuildable.
um, when do you think that would have been?
I want to say 5 years ago. It was when Jimmy Soucy was building the other lots down there when he first started on the other side of her.
Was that through DCR?
Review.
They said it was unbuildable?
We did.
Concom? Do you remember a reason?
Wetlands. It was 2 streams running through the majority of it.
Hmm.
And if you went either side of the streams,
Yep.
it ate up pretty much all of the upland.
Is it because it's riverfront? Is that why?
Yeah, there's a funny story to the companies that particular sidewalk. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay.
It looks like it's right next door to the gentleman that is doing the A&Rs, or the RDAs. Cause Junkie Construction.
Yeah, it looked like it was
So that
the
would
same
be
little locus too.
At least 5 years ago.
Okay.
There was a big swath of it right next to her house. Her house was here and on the right side, all that land that was on the right side, facing the house from the road. That was all unbuildable.
Interesting. Okay. Maybe Tamika, we can try and figure out through some minutes what this would have looked like.
Yeah, there's gonna be it'll be in the minutes.
How long ago would that have been though?
Actually, the easiest way to find that out is go to the assessor's office. Find out from the assessors, because they dropped the value right after we did that.
Oh, I can reach out to the assessors.
Okay.
I have to talk to them anyways. Okay.
So
Open
you're
space.
saying that you believe that the commission made that lot unbuildable or not a buildable lot?
And so that would be the other Kenwood Drive lots too then. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was about 5 or 6 acres that was involved there. So that would eat up a lot of this.
Okay. That's interesting.
Does that go into the 113 and 115 Kenwood that?
Who was the,
It's Julian.
was Julian?
Yeah.
Julian did this one, huh?
I invited
Yeah.
him. He's
Did that.
not- he's not in attendance.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we just had a few come through on
Yeah, on
Kenwood,
Kenwood.
113, 115.
They're both pending
But those
tonight.
were the ones that we issued, they split up further, right? From that mother lot?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Think
think there was like
about
one large lot, and then they divided them into 4 lots that were about 10 acres apiece, he said.
Yeah. Okay.
The tackle stuff,
Right.
that property was fine, yeah.
Yeah, no, there was,
The only thing is with the other property, the owner was Viner, the
Mhm.
original owner was Viner,
mhm.
and it was at their request that we did that.
Okay. I'll reach out to the assessors and see if we can get a time frame, maybe look through some agendas and minutes.
Because there'll have to be some discussion with them over that, not just between us
Right.
and them, but with the assessor and them.
If we can find out a time frame, I can talk to Anita about the minutes, because I don't think these were probably published anymore on the website. I think the latest they have them is 2017 on the website.
Yeah, I was just looking, they have like 2019 for agendas and 2017 for minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this one's 109. Yeah, so the other ones are right next to it.
There's been so many on Kenwood.
Yeah.
I can't keep them straight.
Well, you go down Kenwood, there's a lot of space.
And there's 2 sides of Kenwood,
Yeah.
so. Okay.
So still move forward with this as a hearing for next time?
I think we still have to legally post the hearing, and we'll see what information comes up in between. So I'll reach out to the assessors and I'll just copy you, Tamika, on that.
Sure.
A little bit easier.
Next one.
I'm just trying
Okay.
to look on Oliver too, just to see if I can find that stream and whether it's perennial.
Yeah.
It's always hard to tell on Oliver.
It is.
Something is showing up on USGS maps though,
Okay.
which is usually a first indicator that it could be a perennial stream. Although on USGS, isn't the light blue usually intermittent and the dark blue is perennial?
Yes.
So the one that's closest to Kenwood is coming up light blue
Okay.
on the USGS map, but on the rivers and streams layer, it looks like it is coming up as a stream, not an intermittent stream.
Right,
So
it's a significant stream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
There was 2, one,
Was it, do you know if it, Joe, was it looked at by a wetland scientist at the time?
no, we just looked at it.
Okay, okay.
It had the 3 criteria, so we,
Made sense,
It
yeah.
was a
it's
safe
just
assumption.
stream stats.
Yeah, that's true. That would be one way to
Mhm.
easily confirm it.
Well, the thing to do is talk to Julian if he's doing these drawings. Talk to Julian, what are you seeing?
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay. All right. So the last application submission is for Turkey Hill Road Lot 4.
Yep, that's this one.
So it looks like this is just the same kind of development that's going on.
Mhm.
Turkey Hill. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I didn't realize that wetland right there was that big. There's some town drainage on that corner.
Town drainage?
They installed like a weird catch basin, kind of country drainage, right? So because it sheet flows down Irish,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and so they, actually, is that a catch basin? No, that's a well, it's right there. But there's a catch basin almost like right where the driveway is gonna go.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff down there because they
Yeah.
were getting, they were having some significant water problems down there at one point.
Yes.
That's the big pond in the back, right?
It's that one's no. The pond is on the other side.
Oh, it is.
Wait. Yeah. No.
It says fire pond, but I don't know what that
That's a fire pond.
I'm trying to. Turkey
I remember when I drove by for this other site walk down the street, I just remember somebody mentioning there was a pond or something back there. So I just happened to look. I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of water back there.
Mm.
I didn't get out and look at it, but just driving by, it's
Oh, you're
Some sort
right.
of
This is on the
waterway.
because there's the hydrant there. Okay. For some reason, I thought it was on the other side of Turkey Hill. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know, do we have to do anything with, in the order of conditions to protect that fire pond?
I mean, it is a regulated resource area, so yes.
Okay.
I mean, I think this would probably be something. Well, we'll get more.
This
into
is the
that.
first one
Yeah.
that we've run into, fire pond.
Mm.
I don't know if you have to treat that exactly the same as anything else, or if that
It's
gets some kind of priority because it's fire
I
related.
think so.
Is that, does fire pond designated as meaning it's for firefighting?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
So that's why there's a hydrant there because
Yeah.
there's no water.
gotcha.
That's what Addison wanted to do.
Okay. All right. So we'll have that on the next meeting as well. All right. So the first hearing we have is for Turkey Hill Lot 5. So we'll reopen that public hearing. Do we have anyone here for that?
Nope, that was also Julian, he's not here. I did upload the special conditions just for you guys to review the extras. See if the wording is okay with you.
Do you have the NOI?
No, because I do it electronically now for the DEP.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 5.
This is the one you were talking about last meeting.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
One
we
of them.
continued it just because there wasn't a DEP
Okay.
number, but there is
Yep.
There is
now,
now.
and there were no comments.
Yeah, and I think the only ones on these that we talked about but didn't necessarily put a condition on was ongoing vegetation control for knotweed if we wanted to do anything. That's sometimes a losing battle because if you put a threshold and it comes back, it's so hard to condition that.
Yeah.
And what's the threshold that you'll accept before issuing the certificate of compliance when it might not be reasonable? We could do kind of like a standard condition in terms of, you know, best practices for invasive species shall be implemented.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Are there identified species down there? Invasives?
Knotweed, Japanese knotweed. It's a whole slew of it.
Okay.
And I did drive by and they have cut, like I said last time, so it won't flower, which at least it won't spread anymore with the open soil. So it looks like they took that recommendation, which is good.
Yeah, this is not a new law. This has been around for a while, this one.
I think they split these further, but yeah. Okay. So
What I'm talking about is our initial,
yeah,
discussions
Yes,
with
yeah,
that, go
yeah,
back
yeah.
quite a ways.
right. So were there any other special conditions that we might want on here besides erosion controls and best practices for invasives?
I don't think so.
No?
No.
Okay. And this one has a DEP number, right? Okay. So if is there any comments from the public?
Do we have anybody?
Yeah, we have Jen McGinnis and Jim Harity.
Okay.
And
Oh.
somebody calling user one, but I don't know who that is.
I do have one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just noticing now. So we've got the special conditions broken up. We got general and pre-construction, during construction, and then post-construction and ongoing. Should condition, I think condition 41
Mm.
should probably be under during construction.
Okay. Yeah,
Unless
that
we
makes
have
sense.
something else that covers that I missed.
Or even general and pre.
I'm sorry, Jared, can you just repeat what you wanted
Yeah.
to say?
So condition number 41, which is
Yeah.
related to the erosion control barrier,
Mm-hmm.
I think that probably should live, right now it's under post-construction and ongoing conditions.
Yeah,
I think that probably should be under during construction,
okay.
right? That would make sense, right?
Yeah, that does. And the same for the best practices as well.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, all of those things should live until we give them a certificate of compliance.
True,
Right.
that is true.
Yeah, but it's a condition to be met during, not necessarily after.
Right.
The conditions are not necessarily limited to just before, during, or after.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any other comments from the commission?
Yep.
All right, and we didn't have any comments from the public, so is there a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a
No.
motion to close.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, and a motion to issue the order of conditions as amended and discussed.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. No.
It's easier in person though. Over
Right.
Zoom, it just cuts each other out. All right. Jim Harity for 153 Turkey Hill Road. I'll reopen that public hearing or notice of intent.
I don't remember if last time, did you guys see the revised septic design the last time? Because after he met with Jared, he realized he had done the wrong one, so I uploaded the correct one, but I can't remember if that was last time or not, so.
I'm not sure. This was the one that had the incorrect DEP form, right? That said BVW fill.
Yes, so Jim just resent me, amended ones shortly before the meeting, so I do
Okay.
have those in my email. And as I mentioned to you guys, DEP did reissue, new DEP numbers, same numbers, but basically just to say that there is no comment because there is no longer a water quality certificate.
Right.
Just because of that. To the septic, just to make sure that was the right one you guys had seen. And Jim is on the call if you guys have any questions for him. I'm not doing very well at this.
It's okay.
I'm multitasking. I'm just gonna still trying to blow it up. I'm sorry, I don't know how to flip it, so you guys will have to.
That's all
right.
It's all good. Are there any questions from the commission? is there anything that Jim wanted to introduce or go over, any changes?
He's on mute.
Did she hear you?
No, I don't think he's muted, but I can hear him. We had this similar problem last night with the select board where we couldn't hear them, but they could hear us.
We can't hear him either,
Oh, okay.
so
So it's not just us then?
it might be on his end.
Okay, thank you.
I think this was the lot we talked about. We wanted to extend the erosion control barrier along the, the west side?
Yeah, so I was just looking at the minutes. You also suggested adding silt fence in addition to the straw wattles.
Yes. Which their label for the erosion control barrier does say wattle or wattle plus silt fence as directed by Conservation Commission, so we can probably just special condition that,
Right.
just to have it in there. I know Jim had said that's not a problem, so I think we're okay there.
Okay.
So is that the only special condition you think? Is adding the silt fence in addition to the wattles?
Yeah.
And also the best practices
For the
for the invasives, yes.
species, okay.
I think there wasn't as many here. There was just a few plants, but should still carry forth. Sorry, guys.
Oh, Jen can hear Jen.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on.
Can you hear us okay?
I can.
Okay, perfect.
All right. So did you amend the plans to show the extension of the erosion controls, Jim?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so we'll just condition that, that the erosion controls be extended on the west side to the edge of the property line.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments from the commission?
I'm good.
No, I'm good.
Are there any comments from the public? I don't think so. All right, so if we are all set, is there a motion to close the hearing?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you set to issue those with the 3 conditions as discussed? Okay.
Yes.
And both of the Turkey Hill ones have a DEP number, right?
Correct.
Okay. So is there a motion to issue the order of conditions for 153 Turkey Hill Road with the 3 added special conditions as discussed?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next hearing is for 155 Turkey Hill Road, notice of intent. We'll reopen the public hearing. For this one,
I just uploaded the revised EP number just to show that there was no comments on it.
perfect. So we discussed last time adding a special condition regarding the signage along the 15-foot line. And then also silt fence and straw wattle. So for the signage, I think we discussed having just a proposal submitted to the commission prior to the issuance of the certificate of compliance for what they wanted to put in there, whether it's a split rail fence or the phenos markers. Is there anything
Okay.
else?
Could I jump in for a second?
Yeah.
And I think the plan that you had up before for 153 was actually the 155 plan.
Okay.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. No, scratch that. No, my mistake.
Yeah, the 15 is in the back of the lot. So we would just want some sort of plan submitted to us during construction of where proper signage would be going and what type, to be reviewed and approved by the commission. Okay. Do we want to add the best practices to this as well?
Yes.
Okay. So, 1, 2, is that 3?
That's 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comments from the commission? Any comments from the public? Seeing none, is there a motion to close?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to issue the order of conditions for 155 Turkey Hill Road with the 3 special conditions as discussed.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
We're getting the sequence there.
Yeah, I know. It's a little different every
Just
time.
give me like an extra few seconds there, and I'm like, whoa, it's fast.
Could I ask, when can I start down there?
So there is an appeal period, technically, 10 business days, so technically 2 weeks. You need to have your erosion controls installed and contact Tamika when they're done so someone can come and inspect them.
Okay, so they're kind of thick lots, and I know that Jared and I talked a little bit about it. Is it possible to just cut trees down without stumping or any erosion, soil disturbance?
Is this related to being able to get the erosion controls in?
Yes.
Then absolutely. Absolutely, you can start that.
Okay.
Although,
I just want to get it cleared so we can get the erosion controls in. But so the erosion controls, can I put those in before the 10-day period or after the 10-day period?
You can put the erosion controls in before. If you do any work, site work within those 10-day appeal period, it's within your,
Right.
what's the word I'm looking for?
I always say it's at risk.
At risk, yes.
Right.
Because if somebody does appeal, then you have to
Yes.
stop.
Correct,
work.
yeah.
Yeah. But that's all it
Okay.
is.
Yeah. And the 10 days starts
When
It's 10
Tamika
business,
issues it.
10 business days, so
Yeah.
it's
from the
technically
date
2
on the
weeks.
order of conditions, right?
Correct.
Which will be
Today.
Tomorrow.
today?
Well,
Tomorrow.
depends when she
It depends
submits
the
it.
date that I do it, because I do it
Right.
electronically,
Yeah.
but Jim, I will get this done in the next couple of days, and because I do it electronically, I'll still send you a paper copy in the mail, but I can also email it to you as well, just so that you'll have it with the date on there, so you'll know for sure.
And
That'd-
even the
that'd be
emailed
great.
copy can be recorded.
That's
Right,
what-
but if
that's
all of the
what
work
about
he's
signature.
doing
Yeah.
is relative to
Mhm.
the installation of the erosion controls, it's not an issue.
And Jim, you do have to record them with the registry of deeds, just in case you didn't know.
Yes, I'll do that.
Perfect. Okay, our last hearing type is a request for determination of applicability for prison camp room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For DCR. I think Jen is here. Jared, you went out, gave us a brief synopsis last time. And nothing really of concern that you saw, I think, from what I remember.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. Did other commissioners have any questions or comments based on the RDA submission? Jen, is there anything that you wanted to discuss before?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. No, we try to completely avoid, the wetlands and the regulatory bank as much as possible to be able to install the bridge.
And you're just completely spanning it, right?
Yes, we're completely spanning the stream, and we're rerouting the footpath trail that was illegally put in. We're rerouting that out of the wetland into an upland area with no cut or fill, just natural ground.
Okay. So there shouldn't be any need for erosion control since there's not really going to be soil disturbance. But obviously, if there is going to be, something should be put down.
We'll be willing to do, the trail, I don't feel like we're gonna be, cutting or filling or anything like that.
Yep.
But on the stream, while we're carrying in the bridge, it's gonna be hand carried in. We could easily hand carry wattles in. It's pretty far, so anything too heavy would be,
Yeah.
would be a challenge.
No 12-inch compost tube.
Yeah, that might be a problem. But if the commission wants like a straw wattle just put down until the bridge is laid across, we'd be willing to do that.
Okay. What do commissioners think about that? Just small sections on either side and kind of like a horseshoe?
We're thinking the wattles how would we could be laid out in relation to the bridge? Just trying to picture it in my head.
We could put the wattles above the regulatory bank, but it's kind of a steep cut there, and in the upland area, and then lay down the bridge. It's going to literally be carried across. So we'll have one person on one side handing it to the other person.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, a 6-foot span of tops of a cut for the stream. We could just lay it down in that area, lay down the bridge, and then remove the wattles once everything's done. If that's what the commission would like.
I think that would make sense.
Okay with that.
Anything else? All right, so I think we'd be looking for a negative determination with the condition that, wattles be used during construction. If anyone would like to make that motion.
Oh, you were asking for
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wait, Melissa, were you the one that made the motion?
No, Joe did.
Oh, Joe just seconded it, so
Oh.
someone else to second Joe. We'll make Joe the first.
I think Skip.
Skipped it.
I heard somebody
I'm
say
sorry.
Some of them
Didn't
did.
hear
Yeah.
you.
I think I'll skip.
You're not used to our boxes lighting up. we need our
Oh my God,
flash.
too many things going on.
Yeah. Okay.
Melissa, just to confirm when I complete this, where am I? Which
You
particular
are
box am I
doing, keep going down.
Negative. What's
Yep,
the
number 3, and then
Okay.
just add the condition about erosion controls.
Got it. Jen, I'll get that taken care of and email it off to you in the next couple of days.
That would be great. Thank you so much.
No problem.
All right. So we already did lot 5. So under old and new business discussion, tree removal on parcel 43A22 Glenwood Road.
So this is a letter I received shortly before the meeting. The property owners asked Mark Elbag to kind of reach out on their behalf, and this is what he submitted. And when you're done reading, I also have the words he has. Are you guys okay if I scroll down?
I'm ready.
What is the purpose of this?
So, did this come up from looking at the rail trail?
Yes. It was
So-
the same day Peter and I were out there.
Okay, this is relative to that water issue.
Yes.
We were taking a look at that, and Peter and I walked up Glenwood Road just to take a look at the swale
Yep.
along the edge of the road, and we noticed something on one of the other properties, and then we noticed also the clearing going on this property.
Okay,
So we had two.
because the house directly adjacent to the rail trail,
Yep.
we did, there was an NOI filed on that.
Yes, I think Peter mentioned that he
Yeah,
remembers
that
that
was
one
all.
coming through.
That was,
Not on the other two.
but not on the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
The only reason there was one issued on the first one, the one directly adjacent.
Yep.
Was because there was a possibility of a jurisdictional area being on the other side of the rail trail,
Okay.
okay? The construction area itself
Mm-hmm.
did not impinge any wetlands.
Okay.
All right, but an NOI was submitted because there was a possibility, all right, that we did have some jurisdictional thing going on the other side of the rail trail,
Gotcha.
and it was just inside 100 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So they filed an NOI, because I remember, the fellow that did that, the PE that did that was Mark Elbag Jr.
Yep.
And I gotta tell you, his work, when he does something, his work is right on the money. The other properties, there was nothing jurisdictional about it for us.
Which I think was kind of what the opposite of what we were thinking, right?
Well, so this particular one, this is the property in the back,
Yeah,
right?
the big lot.
The big lot in the back. Not to get off this discussion topic, but the next two properties south of it. So, Joe, the one you're talking about is the one right on the corner where the rail trail hits Glenwood Road.
Yep.
That was that one.
Okay.
And then the next one down is this parcel 43A22 that has the narrow strip, and then it opens up in the back. And then the next two properties down, the next one down is one of the ones that Peter and I talked to the homeowner the day we were out there, because we just happened to notice there was a 4-inch drain pipe that was discharging into the swale at the road. We were just curious, where it was coming from. There was a little bit of water coming out of it, not much. But we talked to the homeowner, and then when we look back at the Oliver maps, we noticed that on both of those lots, the GIS maps show a small wetland area that's like right in their backyard, like literally right behind where the house is now.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
And I did reach out to Kim Roth at the DEP, as Peter had asked, to say, what do we do after the fact, and I unfortunately didn't hear back from
okay,
her.
yeah. Yeah, it's kind of a unique situation for those two lots, because they're already built out.
Yeah.
But the homeowner that we spoke with, he was having some water issues in his backyard, and it was very wet. And he said definitely in the springtime, there's a lot of seepage coming out of the slope behind his house in his backyard.
Yeah, there was some work done, drainage work done by the town. And I believe there was also some work done by Wachusett Greenways
Mm-hmm.
that changed some of the characteristics over there. And I think that those changes led to the other issues that we are experiencing on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's all relatively recent, all of his stuff. The issues that he's having over there are real recent,
Mm-hmm.
like within the last 4 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
Can you scroll between the two images again? So this is 2008.
2008.
Okay.
Can we go back down?
Yeah, sorry. It's hard to tell.
Doesn't look much different,
Mm.
but yeah, it's a little hard to tell.
Can you go back to the 08?
Yeah. On? Up.
And you were saying there was an area or some areas that may have been,
Yeah.
that showed up on the USGS?
Wetland areas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereabouts were they?
Let me pull it up.
Yeah, hold on. If it loads.
I remember one of them,
Was over the house.
it was like right almost on top of it, right off the back edge of the house. See if I can find it. Oh, do you already have it?
Yeah. Joe?
Okay, because the only one that we did, the only one that was submitted to us was this one.
Right. Yeah, that's what we found.
Yeah.
Yeah, the others weren't submitted.
Yeah, but who
Was
built it?
that one on mine or
I don't know who built them.
The one at the top,
The one that has the wetland that's right on the corner of it.
they are 103 and 101.
Okay.
This one
So
here, I
yes.
thought was built by, no, I think it was built by, the son-in-law.
We
Not
looked
that
it
one.
up. Hold on.
Not that one.
Because that was, one of the last lots that Mark Jr. had done for anybody on, outside of, using his stamp on anything.
Oh, okay, could be, but
That was one of the last lots that he did. He had other professional issues pending that took up too much of his time to continue in this line of work. But the other two lots, I don't recall receiving anything on those.
No, we didn't.
No.
No
Yeah.
evidence of
That's why I'm a little curious about them.
When did we say this was? 2015 or 2011?
It's 2016, 2017?
No, we can go back and look at the building permits and see who the permits were issued to. I think that
Who
would
knew
be a
the
good
builder?
first step.
Yeah, that's what I was
I'm
looking
trying to
at.
remember now. Who was the builder in that?
Most of the
I
ones.
think it was Corio Construction.
I think you're right.
You're right. So what do we want to do in relation to
Do you have access right now?
building permits? No.
No.
You could check the deed for the deed.
Say that again?
If you're looking for the deed, you could check the deed.
The deed may not show the builder necessarily.
Okay. So
Yeah, because now I'm curious now, because
I think it was Corio Construction,
I think you're right.
because Mary indicated in her letter that they
I-
didn't
yeah.
have the proper permitting, but
yeah, I thought it was Colorio,
yeah, it is.
not Elbag that built that. Mark did the
did the drawing and
did
all
the
that.
drawing for the wetlands, and that was it. The other two lots,
Greenstone
I'm
Development.
not sure that it was Colorio that did those.
Same proof.
Same proof. Okay. Yeah, Greenstone is the one who's on the deeds.
Who's on the deed?
Greenstone.
Oh, that is Colorio then.
Yep. Okay, so for the for the big lot, because the original concern was tree clearing. Did you guys see what looked like recent tree clearing when you went out? Is that why?
That's what it looked like to us. I mean, I'll be honest, Peter noticed it. It was kind of hard. I thought it was kind of hard to see, but there was definitely some work going on.
Okay.
Right now.
Yes. Or
Right.
at
Yes.
least was done recently.
Recently.
Okay.
Yeah, when we were out there.
So I guess our two options would be, moving forward and asking them for more information, or kind of accepting the wetland delineation is coming because they're planning on developing this process, and just stating that no further, work within jurisdictional areas shall occur until such permits are issued.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So will you follow up with them, Tamika, about that?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. Is there anything we want to discuss in terms of the other two lots, or will?
What can you do with them?
It's
question.
not right. It's not right to kind of saying, hey, there's a violation now. I think it's more of the concern of if they keep having water issues and they want to fix something in the back, then it's kind of something that we can
Yep.
talk
Yeah,
about, but
absolutely.
I think for now, those two lots,
But what the USGS showed up, I mean, was it enough quarter acre foot? For a pretty good chunk.
It shows up, I believe it shows up as what I would guess is a BVW, because it's not isolated.
No, you got an inlet and an outlet,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's showing it connected to, ultimately to the wetlands out,
back.
on the north side of the rail trail, the big wetlands
big
back
one,
there.
yeah.
That's to the northwest, so it shows a hydraulic connection to there. So my guess is that if there was in fact a wetland there, based on GIS, it's probably a BVW
Okay.
and not
Well,
isolated.
the thing to do then, if it's the same group involved with all of this,
Mhm.
then I don't think it would be unreasonable to ask for some replication work to be done on the far end of that to replace what
Was lost.
was lost. And I would opt to go for like a 1.5 to 1 ratio.
Mhm.
Not to be too punitive or anything like that, but, it would appear to me, based on that configuration, what we're looking at there, and the size of the lot, that they would have adequate space to do that. I mean, it's something that, we probably should have been involved with on the front end, and they did not involve us.
Yeah.
Uh,
Most of that potential BVW wetland, most of it sits on 103 and 105 and not on the property in the back. Just a little piece of it does.
Right.
Although it looks like there's some other,
Right, but in the replication, we don't wanna take wetlands from,
right,
say that's gonna be the replication. We
Yeah.
wanna develop some wetlands.
Yep.
So they would need to include in their study, they would have to look at elevations and provide an area. We would ask them to do the calculations on those, include this all in that one thing,
Yeah.
They're coming looking for a permit, they gotta make right on the other stuff
But is
before
that-
we issue any permits.
is that their responsibility?
Technically now, we'd have to go after the current homeowners.
No, you can't go after the current homeowners, you have to
Yes,
go
you
after
do.
you have
It's
to go
whoever
after the
owns
people that built.
property. It's whoever owns the property. They can go after the people who did it, but
Okay,
we have to go after the landowners, which
I
is
would-
what we didn't want to
but
do.
the thing I would do is talk to the builder first.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and if we can work it out with him without involving the other homeowners and turning it into a big brouhaha, all right, it's better to do it that way.
I did bring that up to them when I communicated with them, and they indicated that they felt they had done all the proper permitting for that, so I don't know.
Along with, one of the homeowners is having a drainage issue currently.
Yeah.
We don't know that necessarily that was as a result of, improper work done on the site to begin with.
Could be.
You know,
It's possible.
I mean, ultimately, the ball ends up back at the guy that put the shovel in the ground. I mean, let's be honest about it. And I think that to try to negotiate that with him now would be better for the current homeowners,
True.
all right, rather than having them, I mean, they're never gonna recoup their legal expenses, if they have, I mean, the only guy walking away smiling is the lawyer,
Right.
let's face it.
Yeah. We don't want to put a burden on the homeowner.
Right.
who-
Correct.
You don't
It's not
wanna
their fault.
unduly burden them.
Yeah.
So if we can negotiate something, with the agent involved now,
Mhm.
all right, then I think that would be the way to do it,
Yeah.
rather than,
Which would be Mark, you're saying?
no,
no.
not Mark, it
Oh.
would be,
Bobo.
Okay.
all right, and,
Yeah.
and I think if we approach him in the right, spirit, if you will.
Yep.
Spirit of cooperation, we'll probably be met with the same, and I think it would work better for everybody involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seems fair.
So reaching out to them to see maybe what soil testing was done.
Yeah, we may wanna have him come in and talk to us, you know. Have his wetlands guy or whoever he hires to do that plan, you know, have him come in and talk to us and see what we can do.
So then what you're looking for is a letter to Mr. Calerio to come in and,
Discuss what.
Yeah,
test
we'll just, you know, have an
recommend.
informal discussion with him
Mhm.
on it, you know, and see how he feels about it. He understands how we feel.
Haven't wanted to, so I don't know. They were upset that we sent this letter to them. They
Oh,
wanted to
yes.
hear back from Mary, so I don't know if they're necessarily gonna be open to having a discussion.
I would say no.
Yeah.
They were at my house. Yeah, I would say no.
Mm-hmm. So,
Are these septic,
Impression.
I would assume?
Hmm?
Do you think there's there's
Oh, yeah,
there's
that's
septic?
septic.
Could you reach out to the Board of Health and see if they have septic plans for these two?
Yeah.
Which I'd assume they would. That would have some soil testing on it. And they'd have to certify that they're outside 100 feet, at least.
I think the issue that keeps coming up in my own head is that I see a wetland on the GIS map, but how do we know there was actually a wetland there?
Yeah, it's very forested in previous aerials, so it's very difficult to kind of
Right.
discern.
Now, the saturation in his backyard, when Peter and I were out there, makes me think, okay, it's possible there
Yeah.
could have been one here before.
Yeah.
But,
You can always do a couple bores,
mm,
you know, in the
Yeah.
saturated area and see,
yeah.
and that'd tell you pretty close what you got. I mean, it would be definitive.
Mm-hmm.
Like-
Uh,
Yeah, it'd have to be at the bottom of the slope, because I think they brought in a good amount of fill for this.
yeah, yeah, you catch it at the toe of the slope.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the septic plans would at least give us an indication of who did the tests and what their findings would have been, because they have to disclose anything within 100 feet at the least.
Yeah,
So that's a good start.
And that would be for 101 and 103 Glenwood?
Yes.
now what number is the one that they're looking to do right now?
None of them.
It's a parcel
No.
right now.
They're not looking to break off another lot?
There's nothing in
No.
front of us right now.
Okay,
It was just found when we were doing the rail trail stuff
okay.
for the loopers.
Yeah,
By
'cause I
chance,
thought that was pretty coincidental, you know, we're dealing with one thing and I'm saying, wait a minute, did somebody come in with a,
no, just walking down the street, causing trouble. Okay, so Tamika, you'll follow up on both those
I will,
items. Perfect.
yes.
Okay, so.
Let me know when you send the letter, will you? So I'm not home. I'm serious.
yeah,
All right. So number 2 is follow up on DCR concerns of 165 Cannon. So Tamika sent around the email that I had her forward to Wendy, and I think she responded today or yesterday,
Yep.
just kind of stating that all the property was land and agricultural use, therefore kind of she's exempt. But I think what we should probably reiterate is that it's activities, it's not the land itself.
right,
So if the activity is causing an impact to the BDW, then it is an exempt activity. Right? Is that the right way I want to put it? Yeah.
well, it is activities, I mean,
So the space in which the activities are commencing have exemptions under the WPA, but the whole land does not immediately qualify as land and agricultural use exemption. It's activity based versus land based.
right,
So this, and I even sent an aerial image, with that kind of finger highlighted, just explicitly asking, does livestock go in here? And, even that answer I think would have been sufficient, a yes or a no. So maybe reiterating, again, please let us know if in the purple highlighted area, there is livestock.
well, her question was, what was she violating, all right?
Mhm.
Your response to her, by giving her that all right, and asking specifically,
Yeah.
that's the right answer
Yeah.
to her question. Now she has to answer our question.
Yep.
The ball is in her court. But that's why I was saying at the last meeting that, I didn't think 2 weeks was enough, given it, just
Yeah.
the back and forth.
Right.
Uh,
And I think this could be, simply explained and cleared out if it was just answering those 3 questions of where they are, using the picture that Tamika forwarded, and are they going in this area, and that could lead us to what our
Yeah.
determination is. So maybe Tamika, I'll just kind of draft a quick response for you to send back, just stating, again, it's the activity, it's not necessarily the land. Just because you're in agriculture doesn't mean that everything is exempt.
Hi, this is Wendy Somerset. I'm just listening in.
Hi, Wendy, how are you?
So, good. So I understand what you're saying. This property's always been with 61A. And
This is not the
North-
61A though. What we're talking about here has nothing to do with 61A.
well, I understand what you're saying, that all the land, it's the activity. So we do pasture rotation. So the cows are in a specific area for more than, well, it depends on the time of year,
How close
but they're not housed in a particular area for a long period of time. It's pasture rotation throughout the year, all year long.
Yeah. Wendy, do you have the map that was sent over?
Yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
if you could just highlight that, where your activities are taking place, and get that back to us. I think we can probably,
but why am I, what have I done wrong? What is my violation again? I'm not violating anything.
So
for
there's been
conservation.
there's been a concern raised. Hold on. There's been a concern raised about possible impacts to wetland resource areas, which are jurisdictional to the Rutland Conservation Commission, possibly taken on by livestock. So regardless of who makes the complaint, we address this the same way as we reach out to the home or landowner and request more information. So that's what we've done. We're asking to understand where the livestock is going, and if this possible area where livestock may have been seen is causing an alteration to a wetland resource area that may be in non-compliance with the Wetlands Protection Act. Because raising of livestock is an exempt activity under the agricultural exemptions, but it must be done in a way that does not impact the resource areas.
And that's what we're doing.
right.
So we would just like to verify that. That's all we're asking to do. So we would like to be able to know if the livestock is going in that purple highlighted area of the image that Tamika had sent over. And if they are, if that area is part of a wetland resource area, because if it is, and they're crossing that, it's most likely causing siltation and erosion, which would be impacting the resource area, which would go in non-compliance of the agricultural exemption of raising livestock.
In the email that you had sent to us, it says potential wetland resource area.
Correct. So that's what we're trying to determine. So based on our maps, it is a mapped resource area. So they are just based off aerial images, and just like any other application, we need to verify it in person through site visits, or you can hire a professional wetland scientist, which we're trying to avoid. So we don't want to burden you with that cost. So if you were to allow us to go on the property and look at this potential area, then it would be a huge time and money saver for both you and us.
But this isn't designated as a wetland. It's designated, as a potential tributary, I believe. And according to the definition of a tributary, it's a running body of water, and that's not running. And
It does
DCR
not
was
have
already
to be
out-
running to qualify as a bordering vegetated wetland. So
It's not labeled as a wetland.
it
on the
is
map.
on, yes, it is on state website, which I can take a screenshot of that as well and send over to Mika to forward off to you.
It's mapped as a tributary, which is not the same thing as a wetland.
It is a body of water, or tributaries are wetland resources, yes.
And tributaries, according to the definition, are means a body of running water, including
So
a river.
tributaries is under watershed, and we're working under the Wetlands Protection Act, which has different definitions. So we have bordering vegetated wetlands, isolated wetlands. So the status of tributary is based off of the watershed areas, and we're just looking at wetland resource areas, which are constituted by hydric soils and wetland vegetation plants. So you're calling it two different things under two different regulations. So we're just looking under the Wetlands Protection Act, which doesn't discuss tributaries except, in different circumstances, but that's mainly just for compliance and more stricter regs, which we're not talking about here.
It's not wet at all, though.
So
it's
a
not-
wetland
you
does
have-
not mean that it's standing water.
Wendy, the problem is, if I might interject here for 1 second, the state remapped everything in the recent past, and they did it off aerial photos, and they've identified all kinds of resource areas, rivers, streams, ponds, you name it. The trouble is, it's not 100% accurate. So the rule of thumb I always applied to that was you had to go out and look. Because just because the state says it's a resource area and they took a picture from the sky, doesn't necessarily make it so. So what my religion has been in this case to go out and visually inspect it myself and say, okay, we can agree with the state or we don't agree with the state. And that's how we've dealt with it, and I think it's probably the most prudent way to do with it, to deal with this particular issue, because there's obviously a ton of land in town that we've never been on, and probably never will be in our lifetimes. So we depend on these things that the state provides, and unfortunately, there's no guarantee that they're 100% accurate. And that's kind of the dilemma we run into. So what we try to do in order to, err on the side of caution is to visually look at it, to actually go out and look and say, it's thus and so or it isn't. And then base any decisions going forward on that observation rather than, on supposition and, things coming to us on, computer files and things, there's nothing that substitutes, putting your hand in the soil and figuring out what it is. And that,
Well,
I
I
think
guess
in this case, that's all we're looking to do is just, verify, we've got a complaint in front of us, so we have to do some kind of an investigation. And in order to do that, we can say, okay, you need to hire a wetland scientist at your cost and prove to us that you are not violating anything. All right. The other alternative to that is to, we go out and look and say, okay, you're not violating anything, and walk away. And that's what we're trying to do here. We're not looking to be adversarial about it, but we are, we have to do something. I mean, we have to come to some conclusion, because by virtue of the fact that we received a complaint.
Well, like I had said in the past, we're in good standing with Holden Conservation, and the property line runs through there, and they don't have an issue with us. So I think this is just DCR coming to you. But DCR was already out here and looked at that area. Vinny was already out here. He's a DCR engineer. We had planted trees, and he approved the trees, and the neighbor was complaining about this area, and he said he didn't say anything. So he was already out here. DCR is failing to tell you this, but they've already done a site visit.
The forester was out there.
The what?
The person you're talking about is a forester?
I don't know who he is. He was with DCR.
I mean, you're talking about planting trees, and he was okay in trees, so he may not be
Tamika, you can just.
part of the wetlands, or shouldn't say the wetlands, but the resource area folks.
No. He proceeded to tell me everything that I could not be doing on the property, including spreading manure, having cattle. This was the whole property.
Yeah.
Whole property.
Yeah.
And my husband was there as well, who's sitting in on the call, as well as the Busy Bee landscapers were there. And he didn't mention any violation. He could view the area from the neighbors. And he didn't mention any violation and approved the trees, and on he went. So they've already been out here.
All right, are those trees in that purple area?
No.
Okay, because
Right
the
next to it,
purple area is where what we're looking at, not nowhere else. We're not concerned about the entirety of the property. The only thing that we're concerned about is that little purple finger, and that's it.
And, yeah, and I guess I'm not understanding why or how you have authority to make me go out and hire somebody to prove that it's not a wetland. Because
That's what we're trying to avoid. So that's why the commission
all.
themselves would like to go out and just look at this area and make our determination, and hopefully that is the end of it. We want to be helpful to you. This is our standard practice. We're not trying to say you cannot, use your agricultural land. We just want to make sure that we are addressing the complaints accordingly and ensuring that you're in compliance with the Wetlands Protection Act.
but I am in compliance with because
So we do need actual, confirmation of that. And that's, unfortunately, as much as we want to take your word, we just can't.
There's two ways to
accept that.
verify it, basically. We verify it ourselves, or a wetland scientist verifies it.
Well, I'm being advised legally and also by Massachusetts Department of Agriculture that I don't have to authorize site visits. I'm farming here. When I bought the property, it was 61A. Fertilization was happening, land, manure spreading and whatnot. And I'm doing it on a much smaller scale.
Yeah.
So I just question, where all of this is coming from, because
Well, initially, it came from DCR. DCR is the one that told us about it.
which came from a neighbor just complaining without any basis. I mean, that's what DCR is not telling you. They're not telling you the whole story. When Vinny was out here, I could have lied and said, I don't have any livestock at all.
So
At that time, they were being rotated all the way in the back.
Okay, hold on one second. So we do have Jennifer McGinnis from DCR, not to put you on the spot, Jen, but could you maybe provide us with an update if you've been out there and any findings that DCR might have on this?
We have not been allowed out on the property. Vinny was the one that referred it to Alan and I to look into.
Because Vinny was out at the property.
Vinny
Well,
was.
we had some-
Vinny works out of the Wachusett office, and Holden, and that portion of Holden and Rutland is controlled by the Ware River office, which is where Alan and I work out of. So he referred it to us.
No, but Vinny was actually at the site.
Correct. He was on a different site visit for a different reason, but your property falls into the jurisdiction of Ware River at that point, and that's why it was referred to Alan and I by Vinny.
That's fine. Yep. My point was just so that they heard that that DCR has already been out here.
No, DCR was not out on that finger. Vinny did not see that finger. Vinny asked us to look into it because that's not his jurisdiction.
Well, Vinny came over and looked into that area and proceeded to tell me what I could do and what I couldn't do, and then approved the trees, the planting of the trees.
We're not talking about the planting of the trees. I'm telling you that Vinny referred it to Alan and I, who work in that region of the state. We all have regions.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not questioning that. I just wanted you to tell them that DCR had been here.
And I'm saying that
And I
we
just wanted them to hear that.
verified that finger of the wetland, so.
So it sounds like DCR in a different section was out for a different aspect and has then referred it to the appropriate division of DCR because there was some sort of concern that may be jurisdictional. So that has also been brought to the attention of us. And I think, us and DCR are on the same page that the appropriate divisions that regulate these specific resource areas would like to come see this small finger and get a final determination, without adding additional burden on you as the landowner.
You are adding additional burden on me.
We are really trying to help you. I promise. We are trying to help. We do have to address complaints.
You're trying to help me. I responded to your emails. I've responded to your requests. As you said
hold on.
email.
Our one request is knowing if livestock goes in the highlighted purple finger and determining if that finger is a wetland resource area. You have not yet said a yes or no to if livestock goes in that highlighted area.
Yes, at times livestock have access to that area based on a rotational pasture plan.
Okay, so
they are not housed in there, and we do not have livestock in water.
So our next determination we would like to know is, because livestock are in that area, just because it's standing water does not mean that it's not a resource area. It just might mean that there's higher groundwater for multiple parts of the year, which gives it hydric soils, which qualifies it as a bordering vegetated wetland. And if that's the case, if livestock is going in that area and causing erosion or impacts to the wetland area, then that is a concern for the Conservation Commission, which is separate from the DCR's concerns, so we do have to address this. So because livestock is going in that area, we just want to follow through with this violation and ensure that that activity is in line with the agricultural exemptions for your property. So would you be willing to have members of the Conservation Commission come out and just look at that area and see if there is erosion or siltation? And if not, then we're done. That's it. Violation is, or potential violation is closed.
No, I think I'll go to the federal government and look for support for them, and then go from there. And then if I have to, fence them out of there, then I'll decide that and figure that out. But no, I'm not having site visits due to personal health issues. I can't allow that at that time. But what I will do is go to the national resources and the federal government and see what funding is available and go through it with that one.
Okay, just note that this will still be a potential violation for us, and we still do need to investigate it, and we do need some sort of cooperation and movement. As long as you keep us up to date with actual actions that you are doing, then that shows to us that you're demonstrating good faith and moving forward and addressing this complaint. So you are more than welcome. If you have something from the Holden Conservation Commission, please forward that. If you have something from, I think, Vinny who came out, the Wachusett watershed that states that this area was okay, please forward that, and we'll continue to make contact, but we do need to resolve this potential violation.
Well, I'm not going to agree that it's a violation. And if I go and get anything from the Holden Conservation, what weight is that going to have? Does that have any weight at all? I just want to know, because this is all very time consuming.
If they have looked at
and-
this particular area, you know, then we do take that into consideration. If they have reasonable evidence that this is non-jurisdictional, then, you know, that weighs with us.
It's actually right in their minutes, so I'll see if I can pull that up. But when we bought the property, I had the commission agent come out, and I told her exactly what I was doing. And I have no violations with them, no follow-up, no violations whatsoever.
Okay.
So I will look for those minutes, and then I'll reach out to them as well. I think in your email somewhere, you were going to reach out to them to see if you could get support.
I think at this point, you know, we are asking, since you've discussed with the Holden Conservation Commission, we can talk to them, but if you have something specific that they've issued to you, then please forward that along.
Okay, I'll look for that, because I definitely have some verbiage somewhere. I just have to find it in various emails, because like I said, that purple area is Holden and Rutland.
Yep.
Right. Yep, and we understand that. That just, you know, part of it is in Rutland, so we're just dealing with the portion that's in Rutland, and, you know, you still have to continue to keep in contact with DCR and follow their requests, because they are, you know, conducting a separate look into this, and their regulations are separate than what we are talking about. So just anything you find, please send it to Mika, and we will keep this on our agenda, and we'll look forward to any information you have. Thank you for joining.
Okay.
All right, it looks like she signed off. So we'll wait to see what they have. Jen, is there anything else that you might need from us? I don't think we really have anything to share with you.
We are not requesting any more assistance from you. I think we wanted to bring it to your attention. We have some photographs that were supplied. We can conduct our investigation separately from here. But we appreciate all the support you've given us, and likewise in the past we've supported you on things. All we want is a site visit, just to see, are they in the wetland? That's all we want.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So.
What's your next step, Jen?
I'm sorry?
What's gonna be your next step?
I think we kind of approach it separately at this point. We're investigating as best we can.
Yeah.
We just, I mean, as you know, we can't have livestock in a tributary, whether or not it's flowing or not flowing at a particular time of the year, right?
Yeah.
We can't have that. Drinking water regs are very specific. Yes, it is a separate set of regulations under DEP, but it's for our drinking water. And, you know, the Wetland Protection Act is very specific. Like, you can do things within that 100 feet, but you can't do it in the wetland, except for, like, some buildings you can, if you're, you know, erecting a building in wetland, you can exceed some limitations.
Right.
You can't have, you know, we just want a site walk. I mean, sometimes these maps are wrong, and they aren't tributaries, as you know.
Yeah.
All we're asking for. We appreciate all your support. We'll keep you in the loop if you'd like it. We'd like to be kept in your loop. You know, but that's kind of where we stand right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think keeping each of us staying in each other's loops is the best approach at this point, because if one of us gets a breakthrough, then we can save the other one a little time.
We really aren't looking at the fact that she might put manure on her fields. That isn't our main concern.
Yeah, and
You know,
61A has no effect on anything other than your taxes.
Correct. I mean, yeah, it's land and agriculture. I mean, I used to work for DEP as a circuit rider explaining the regulations to commissions, and I did my fair share of farming ones. And yeah, they're allowed to do some things that a normal homeowner with cattle or a horse, because you know horses don't fall under 61A if you're not farming, if you have a recreational horse.
Right, but at some point,
Exactly,
if-
but we are really concerned, is the livestock in the wetland?
right,
And is that a real tributary?
right,
It's on our old maps from 1992, so this is not a recent aerial that we're getting that off of.
right,
Because unfortunately, DCR has never updated the maps since the original maps were made in 1992. Because that's what our regulations, you know, call for. So we're basing our findings on that map, which again could be wrong. You know, there are a lot of roads were put in, culverts were clogged. I mean, drainage changes. We're just asking for a site walk. That's
Right.
really what we're asking for.
those maps are snapshot in time, and, you know,
No. No, we're really, and all we're really, and but at this point, we are asking for a site walk and to meet on site. And we're not doing any more phone conferences with them. Because it's really just going in circles.
yeah,
So, I can tell you, Vinny was the one that referred it to us. So I don't know exactly where these trees are planted. Vinny works out of the Wachusett watershed. Some of Rutland is in the Wachusett watershed, but Ware River has jurisdiction over Rutland, just as some of Princeton falls in Wachusett's watershed. So Wachusett took all of Princeton. It's how we broke up the watersheds.
right.
I can tell you that Vinny referred it to us.
Okay.
But we,
That's perfectly reasonable. I mean, we're not questioning any of that stuff.
right. We do different jobs, so, you know, he could be in Ware River watershed for something unrelated to this. You know, we do, you know, sometimes I wander into Wachusett watershed, like I'm the permitting specialist, you know, so if I need a permit, like we did with the bridges for you guys, I will travel between watersheds. So
Right.
I don't know why he was in Ware River, you know, Rutland jurisdiction, but it was probably something that he does that we don't do.
Right.
So, I can tell you, he referred it to us and we have to follow up. So, you know, I don't want to make, you know, things worse, but at this point, we're just basically saying we're done with phone conversations. We just want to see the stream. I think we can clear this up really simply.
Right.
Agreed.
You know, we're not looking at the whole parcel. We're looking at a little piece of wetland. That's it. Or potential wetland, I guess I should say.
Jen,
So,
do you
but I
know Vinny's last
appreciate you guys.
name?
I'm sorry, can
I'm
you
sorry,
repeat?
Jen, I didn't mean to cut you off. Do you know Vinny's last name just so I can put it in the minutes?
Oh my gosh.
These are the tough questions.
Yeah.
Want me to know my coworkers' last names? Hold on, let me just look on my email. Isn't that funny? You don't know, you know. I could barely identify people after 1 year, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yes.
Can I email you it? Because
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have no idea.
That's okay. Yeah, that's no problem. You can just shoot me an email.
People by first name only. I mean, honestly, half the time we don't know each other by even name. We just know what group we work in, you know?
No
But,
problem.
you know, DCR is pretty big. I mean, we have people that work in dam safety. I don't know any of them. We
Right.
have foresters, you know. I mean, we're a big agency.
Now, you shouldn't
So-
refer to them like that, you know. Damn safety.
It's more like damn right reasons why the dam isn't safe, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I can send that to Tamika tomorrow.
Sure.
Off the top of my head, I really don't know what his.
That's okay.
That's okay. No judgment.
And all this is being recorded. He's gonna hear it. And be like, "How did you know my last name?"
We're gonna make a DVD of bloopers.
Uh,
Just start yelling over it when this happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, I appreciate all your support. You know, you do your path, we'll do ours, and we'll keep as always, we'll keep you guys in the loop, and we appreciate it.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep, bye.
Thanks, John.
Bye, Jen.
Okay.
So, is the board gonna call Conservation and Holden and talk to them or not?
I think you should reach out to them.
I can, yeah.
Just
I
to see
did
what they
them on
say.
that letter
Just to
that
see
I
what they
sent.
say. I mean, and they say, hey, there's no problem, there's blah, blah,
Yep.
blah, blah, blah.
Sure.
We've cooperated with them. Peter and I went over on a similar situation. Not that particular situation, but a similar one where Holden had concerns. And luckily, all of the concerns were confined to Holden and not Rutland. So we didn't really have to get involved. But in this case, they'll reciprocate. They're good people.
And they have an agent, correct?
Yeah.
I believe so,
Yeah, I can't remember her name, the agent's name off the top of my head. I'm sure it's probably on their website.
Yeah.
it's gonna be on the
Okay.
website.
She's good too. She's real sharp,
You're just like Melissa.
just like Melissa.
Glenda.
Glenda.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Gloria, but
and I should have remembered that name.
Glenda. Okay. So you'll reach out to Holden. We'll, see when Wendy might come back with in terms of communication that she's had with other entities, and we can kind of decide at the next meeting, or even July 6th, because we technically gave her that deadline, and if we want to move forward with any other actions. All right. The last item on old and new business is the forest cutting plan on Whitehall Road. So I think it looked like it was on DCR property.
Yeah, who's the forester on that?
the preparer is Ken Canfield.
That's the
Had it up on
preparer.
Yeah,
screen. It doesn't say it on this one.
see, it says
Yeah, but it doesn't say who the licensed harvester is.
Mass Forester License number 431.
That's just the plan prepared. Doesn't mean that he's doing it, but yes.
If I may, if it's on DCR property in Ware River, Ken is our forester.
Perfect.
So it's a safe assumption. I'm not gonna say it. Sometimes we cross boundaries, but he is our forester in Ware River, so.
But Jen, what's his last name?
Canfield. I know his last name.
Okay. Did anyone have any comments on the forest cutting plan?
No, that's normal for them up there.
It is for long-term forest management.
Yep.
Okay.
So you want a motion to approve, or you're just gonna let it roll
Right.
through?
Just roll as long
That's
as
informational only
Yeah.
to us.
Oh,
Yep.
just info, okay.
yeah, as long
Fine.
as there's no comments the commission wants to make, then we don't need to make a motion.
No,
All right.
they know when to cut. And
Yep. All right. Is there any public comment? No. Does anyone else have anything?
Motion to adjourn, is that what you're looking for?
Absolutely.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 7:28 adjourned.